The Australian Maltese Chamber of Commerce welcomes new members. For more details, visit their website amcc.org.au.
It-taqsima li miss ser tħodna fil-belt ta' Sydney fejn il-kollega tiegħi Mark Avellino ser jitkellem mal-pittur Malti Christopher Vidal.
Chris, when did you come to Australia?
Yeah, we came to Australia around six years ago. We immigrated here, basically. We decided with my family to move over here for better opportunities.
Obviously, we're standing here amongst all these wonderful paintings which you've painted since living in Australia. When you were in Malta, were you exhibiting paintings, or were you doing any painting in Malta?
In Malta, I started drawing from when I was a kid. I was basically 6 years old. I was already drawing. Then at 15, 16 years of age, I went to the School of Art in Valletta, where I spent 3 years there, doing drawings and some paintings and sculpture. From then onwards, I was only doing it as a hobby. I was never exhibiting anything in Malta as such. So, yeah, I did some commercial work for local feasts and festivities over there. Painted some flags actually as commissioned. I was around at that time 20 years old, and yeah, it was quite an experience. Yeah, but as such, I didn't do any commercial and work.
So when you got here, how long was it before you started thinking, oh, you know, I might pull a easel together and stretch a canvas and start painting?
Yeah, when we moved here, initially until we settled down, I was basically painting in acrylics most of the time. So I had limited space, so I couldn't paint, you know, big works, especially with oils. So I was doing these small drawings and paintings, but nothing as such out of this world. But then as soon as I had the opportunity, you know, I had where I can basically put my stuff. And in the meantime, I started traveling around, seeing the country, and this started giving me more inspiration and motivation to paint. And then I decided, to basically start painting in oils again. It was hard initially because I was not painting in oils for almost 10 years.
So looking at all the work here, it's predominantly landscapes and a lot of Australian scenes. So is it landscape that influences you? What is the biggest influence with the work you've been doing since you've gotten here? Yeah,
basically along the way I did various works, including even portraits and but mostly I do landscapes because it is the landscape, it's nature that basically inspires me. And what basically motivates me is the effect of the light most of the time on certain times of the day. So yeah, and I connect with that experience. So most of the time I paint only what I see in reality. So when I'm traveling, sometimes I see something interesting, taking some photos, starting painting there most of the time also, doing some sketches, and then everything in my memory. So when I go back to the studio, it might take a couple of years until I go to paint that experience. But with time it will come, and then I will start interpreting it.
Yeah. I notice around here you've got some beautiful just charcoal drawings on canvas. So I'm assuming that is where the process begins for you to work up a painting?
Yeah, actually the process starts from the very beginning because I prepare everything myself, including even the canvases. I do it for several reasons. First of all, I have full control of the size of the artwork. So usually when I start planning an artwork, I will first want to show what I want to show in it. If I want to show a big sky and an amazing sunset or something like that, I will go for usually a bigger canvas. If I want to show some details of the landscape, then I go for smaller ones. And so I start by preparing my own canvas. Then I do a number of sketches basically on a drawing book, to see which sketch fits more what I want to show, and maybe I want to move things around, and do some necessary changing. And then from there I go to the canvas. So what I sketch, basically I enlarge it on the canvas. I do first a charcoal sketch, and then I will start going through the process of painting, basically with layers. Usually I paint in an indirect way.
Yeah.
So the approach that I use. So I use multiple layers of paint, very thin layers most of the time, going thicker as I go on the top, and adding more details as I go along.
So just working it slowly, so you can just get
Sometimes I can leave a painting there sitting for a couple of months before I go back to it again, or adjust something in it. And obviously the more I look at it, the more I see what I can change and adjust. And
coming here with new eyes must be part of the inspiration, because you're seeing all this environment that's distinctively different to the Maltese environment. So I was just sort of wondering, when you're creating this work, how do you think, if you were to go back to Malta now, you would look at Malta from a painter's point of view?
Yeah, I think I will look at Malta from a different perspective. It's completely different, obviously, landscape. As we're saying, Australia, we have a variety, or you can start from the tropical regions and you go to the subtemperate and temperate regions. So we have a variety. Malta, it's a different kind, so it's more architecture type of environment.
Yeah.
And the light, obviously, it will be a completely different lighting, because here in Australia we have very intense colors, especially in certain times of the year and certain times of the day. So yeah, that makes a difference, obviously.
Where would you like to see your work go? Like, in a few years from now, would you like to take an exhibition to Malta? Would you,
Yeah, basically, I'm at the moment I'm participating in a number of exhibitions here, local exhibitions. I'm going to have now in October an exhibition together with another two artists, which is going to be landscape painting and Aboriginal work. And that's going to be in Katoomba.
Yeah.
But further that, my basically objective is that my work will start getting more appreciated, and going to galleries and sell my work.
It'd be actually interesting for our audiences to hear a little bit about the work that you do outside of your painting. Do you mind just telling us a little bit about the research that you're doing? Or?
Yeah. So I am a research scientist. When I came to Australia, I was working in stem cell research related to osteoporosis, testing new drugs and treatments and seeing the cells, how they respond. And so that is my work here. At the moment, I'm also doing some research projects, developing new tests for allergies and drug allergies, especially.
Yeah.
So and also guiding PhD students. In arts, I'm teaching some students also arts painting for beginners.
Yeah.